Hello and welcome to Maths with Jacob. This lesson will focus on square root. When we are asked to find the square root of a number, we need to find a number such that when it is multiplied by itself, we get the original number. The square root sign is this one here. So whenever you see this sign here with a number inside it, that is asking us to find the square root of that number. Finally, by definition, the square root of a number is positive. So that is very, very important to remember that. I'll keep repeating that a few times during this video, that the square root of a number is positive. Let's look at some examples. Number A, the square root of 9. The square root of 9 equals 3 because 3 times 3 equals 9. So remember by the definition that we had earlier in the first paragraph, when you multiply a number by itself and you get a particular number, that number is the square root. So for 9, the square root of 9 is 3 because 3 times 3 equals 9. You're multiplying a particular number by itself to give you 9. The square root of 16. The square root of 16 equals 4 because 4 times 4 equals 16. You multiply a number by itself to give you 16. The number is 4, so the square root of 16 is 4. The square root of 49 is 7 because 7 times 7 equals 49. You have a number, you multiply it by itself to give you 49, and that number is 7. The square root of 100 is 10 because 10 times 10 equals 100. So you can see in each of those four examples, each answer is positive. We can also use a factor tree to find the square root of a number. Let's look at the square root of 64. So here we have 64, which is 2 times 32. We put the 2 down here, so we continue the tree and we just leave that 2 there. Now two numbers multiplied together to give us 32 will be 2 times 16. 2 times 16 equals 32. Now the idea of factor trees was introduced in an earlier lesson, so we can always go back and check that. Now we put that 2 there, so they're the branches. Now we have 16. 2 times 8 gives us 16. Those 2's all go down to there. Then we have 2 times 4 gives us 8. All those 2's go down, and we know that 2 times 2 is 4. So all those 2's multiplied together give us 64. And notice, with the factor tree, we finish up with prime numbers, and 2, as we know, is a prime number. So 64 is all those 2's multiplied together, which is 2 to the power of 6. Of course, there are 6 of them. Now, 2 to the power of 6 is 2 to the power of 3 times 2 to the power of 3. So you've got that multiplied by that. Now, each of those is the same. This leads to the square root of 64 is 2 to the power of 3. And we know that 2 to the power of 3 is 8, or 2 cubed is 8. The square root of 10,000. Now we can write 10,000 using a base and a power as 10 to the power of 4. We saw that in an earlier video. So we have 10 to the power of 4. So the square root of 10 to the power of 4 must be 10 to the power of 2. How do we know that? Well, we know that 10 squared times 10 squared Okay, so we have two numbers, both the same, equals 10, excuse me, to the power of 4. So the square root of 10 to the power of 4 is 10 squared. And we know that 10 squared is 100. So the square root of 10,000 is 100. So this video has introduced us to the idea of square root. We've seen that the square root of a number is positive. Very important to remember that. And we've also seen how we can use a factor tree to find the square root of a number.